you need to sell. Right? I've already done that. It's very, very simple. So then we have the binary, which is one of the most wealth-generating compensation plans in our industry. It's because it creates a lot of leverage and a lot of freedom once these start going. It's powerful. So you're going to build and override two sales teams, a left sales team and a right sales team. To qualify for this, you have to personally make one sell on your left and one sell on your right of at least $100. Okay? So what this means, you guys, is leverage. Remember, it's all about leverage. So as you're out there working with your sales team, your friends, your people, right, that have joined, they're out there, they're excited, they're making sales. So you get an override on that. So let's say your right sales team does 16,000 in business volume this week, and your left sales team did 12,000 in business volume this week, right, in sales. Well, we get paid 10% of that weaker team's volume. So that would be $1,200 that you just earned for the week. And guess what? This is to unlimited levels deep, and there's no flushing. Okay, so what happens is, and Carlos can attest to you, as you start building these, guess what? They start taking on a life of their own, because all of a sudden now, every week you have sales happening in your right team and in your left team, whether you worked or not. And then as this starts growing around the world, because what happens is you could talk to your neighbor. Your neighbor gets excited and joins this, but then guess what? Your neighbor knows somebody in Asia, and they call someone in Asia and shares this with them, and now someone in Asia is joined. Guess what happens for you? You're now earning money from another country. This is how you go to sleep and wake up worth more money than when you went to bed. This is how you create freedom. This is how you can travel the world and come back worth more money than when you left. Right? Because now all of a sudden you're making money from other countries. So while you're sleeping, they're up doing presentations just like I'm doing it right now. Right? Powerful. And then you get into where all of a sudden every single day there's a sell on your left, there's a sell on your right, and you're earning 10%. Right? Because it's coming from all over the world. This is huge, you guys. I want you to get this. Now, one of my favorite parts is the matching bonuses. You're also going to be able to earn a check match. So whatever people are making in their binary every week for certain levels, you're going to be able to earn a percentage of that. To qualify for this, you personally have to sponsor 3 people. Okay? 3 people. Okay? So we want to help you get your first 3 in the first 3 days. Okay? Now, what happens is, let's say I share this with Carlos, Celia, and Lucille. Well, whatever they make every single week in their binary, I make 10% of that. So if Lucille does $10,000 this week in her binary, guess what? I just earned an extra $1,000 key here, whether I worked or not. Whether I worked or not. Okay? Powerful. And you can sponsor as many people as you want to on your first level. There's no limit. You can have 20 people, 30 people, 40 people. But guess what? When they share with other people, you're also going to earn 10% on those commissions. All the way for 4 levels, you're going to get 10% override, right? Or check match, right? This is powerful, you guys. And you'll notice, as this goes down in levels, what do you notice? There's more sales there. There's more people there, right? This is powerful. But guess what? We don't stop at 4 levels. Because level 5, 6, and 7, you're also going to get 5%. And I can tell you guys, as this grows, you're talking about you can have thousands, literally thousands and thousands of people around the world that you've never met. You don't even know who they are. But you're earning 5 and 10% on them every single week of whatever they make in their binary income. Now, if you don't go to your job this week or this month, are they going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to give you a percentage of what everyone else in the office made. No, right? They're not going to do that. So John Paul Getty, who was the first billionaire in America, said, I'd rather make 10% of I'd rather make 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. And that's why he became a billionaire. He understood the power of leverage. Okay? Now, here's an example. You get your first 3 in the first 3 days. You don't have to do it in 3 days, but as our team, that's what we're going to help you do. Then we're going to help those people get their first 3 in the first 3 days, right? So that's just what our particular team wants to help you do. So all of a sudden, duplication starts happening, momentum starts happening, and now you have over 3,237 people in your organization that you're matching with every single week. All of that pays out weekly, right? The binary, the direct sale commission, and the matching bonus pays out weekly. And here's the last part here, then I'll play for you the video. You're going to earn 1% to 3% of all of your personal enrollment tree volume. This is our leadership bonuses. Okay, now enrollment tree volume means spillover doesn't count. It's just for the people that you personally brought on board and all the sales that they make down, okay? Now, no more than 40% can come from one personally enrolled team. So let's look at this. As your team is making sales every month, you're going to be able to start getting benefits from that. So let's say your team has 1,000 in enrollment tree volume this month. Well, you become a consultant and get a $50 one-time bonus. 3,000 in enrollment tree volume, you become a senior consultant and now you get a $200 one-time bonus. But once you have 10,000 in ETV, you become an executive consultant and now it gets exciting because you're going to get a 1% override on that. Anything from 10,000 up to 50,000, you get 1%. Anything from 50,000 to 100,000, 1.5%. And 2% is anything from 100,000 to 250,000. 2.5% is anything from 250,000 to 750,000. But once you reach that 750,000, you reach the top of our comp plan. That's the senior vice president. That's when you get 3% override, right, on your team's volume. So for easy math, let's say your team did $1 million in enrollment tree volume this month, and you got 3% of that. That's an extra $30,000 in your pocket. Now, I know so many people right now that are begging their bosses for a $1,000 raise, right? Begging their bosses for a $5,000 a year raise, a $50 a month raise, whatever it is. Why not give it to yourself, right? Start paying yourself what you're worth. So before we close it out here, what I want to do is, as promised, I'm going to play for you that quick video because it really sets it in stone on how powerful what we have is, and it's going to be a big eye-opener for you. Now, when I released this video that shows me going into Barnes & Nobles, it absolutely went crazy. People were sharing it nonstop. People were messaging me by the hundreds and hundreds, nonstop. Every single day, still today, I get messages. Bishop, explain to me that smart money. I saw that video. It blew me away. Why? Because no one in the world has ever seen this before. It's never happened before. We're the only ones with this technology. So enjoy this video, and then we'll come back and close it out right at the hour. Perfect time.
Guys, it's been a crazy day, but check this out. Meetings. But I'm about to do something that is groundbreaking. I'm about to take our new development, our new app, and I'm about to go up to Barnes & Noble and actually buy things with cryptocurrency. Okay, so we're not talking about converting crypto to USD first. I'm talking about actually spending our crypto in Barnes & Noble and other stores and stuff right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's check it out. Hey, you guys, Bishop's still here, and history in the making. So today what we're going to do is we're going to actually use the Dnero app to go inside Barnes & Noble and actually purchase items using cryptocurrency on cryptocurrency. Okay, this has never happened where you can actually use cryptocurrency to actually buy products and services and get instant cash back. So we're going to go ahead and here and make history with Dnero Smart Money. You got a smartphone, right? You should have smart money. Come on. Oh, smart money too, right? Don't you? Yeah. Okay. See, this gentleman just said he wants smart money too. Go ahead. Barnes & Noble, so just getting a couple of items. You got to spend at least $5. The way we have the settings right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more currency to my balance, so we can do it. All right, let's go do this. Add some more to my currency, so I'm going to click there. Then I'm going to get there, and I'm going to buy some more currency. So let me buy another $7 worth of currency. So I'm going to click buy. There we go, transaction done. There we go. So now my balance with currency has just increased to 9. What we got here, it's 538. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 538. Can you see it? Okay, now I'm going to click here. We're going to pay this at Barnes & Noble. I'm going to click, you're about to exchange some currency to make a payment to Barnes & Noble. Pay. And what it's going to do is create the QR code right there. That's the QR code. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, present it to the cashier. He's going to scan that. If it doesn't scan, then you type in the 16-digit code. That's how you utilize this app. Okay, and so this is Barnes and Noble, you guys. I love to read. I don't know about you guys, but I read all the time. But now we're able to use and utilize this revolutionary new application to make purchases all around everywhere. There you go. Thank you very much. So you guys can see, we just did that payment right now with cryptocurrency and the Dnero app. People got cash back instantly at 11 cents. Cash back instantly for doing that. Just bought an item from Barnes and Noble using our Dnero app that fuses cryptocurrency, fiat currency seamlessly and gives you instant cash back rewards of 2 to 3%. Okay, this is groundbreaking for shoppers. This is groundbreaking for merchants and retailers. This is all about being smart with your money, right? You got smartphones, smartwatches. Let's get some smart money too.
And so there you guys have it, right? You can see the technology that's behind this and everything that is happening. So we are looking at something that is revolutionary, something that's never happened before. This is not a Me Too product, okay? It's very, very important you understand that. Now, remember, I said consumers will always dictate the market, right? So do you think that consumers are going to go back to rotary phones, right? And put your finger in there and spin the wheel and all that kind of stuff? No, right? Consumers are moving forward, right? Smartphones are getting smarter and smarter every single day. This is where things are going. Asia, again, is already doing this on a massive scale, using their phone to make payments. Now, think about how many of you have cash now in your wallet. Is cash still king, right? People don't even carry or use cash the way they used to, right? It's all credit cards now. And when credit cards came out, they had pushback as well. People didn't believe in the credit cards. So here's what I want to leave you with. Two things are going to happen right now for all of you that are on this presentation. You're either going to look at this amazing technology and leverage it. This is what I mean. Why do the rich get richer? The rich get richer because they get information on consumer behavior patterns, financial trends, right? Economic shifts, etc. And they position themselves and leverage that information. So by the time the masses find out about it, they've already created a major wealth for themselves, right? And the opportunity is passed. So let's think about this. When the cell phones first came out and VoIP technology, right? I had friends that were like, hey, this is the future. We all need to plug into this, right? So the ones that joined with that went on to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. What happened to the other ones that didn't join in? Guess what? They all became customers. So this is what happens, and the history will tell you this always happens with new innovation. You're either going to leverage it and start creating freedom and wealth with it, or you're going to be a customer. I can prove it to you. My father was against credit cards. He has every credit card just about in the world now, right? I know people that were against social media. Guess what? They're on social media now. Because you're either going to be a part of it and leverage it and create wealth, or you're going to be a consumer because it's going to be massively adopted. I know people that didn't believe that, you know, cell phones and stuff were going to be a serious thing. They thought it was the end of the world, smartphones, right? But guess what? They all have smartphones now. So which one do you want to be in? Do you want to leverage it and create wealth and freedom for you and your children's children? Right? A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Or do you want to be a customer later? Because either way, you're going to be doing mobile payments, whether you like it or not. It is going to happen. So if you're looking at this, you could be a no, right? You could be a number one. You might just have some questions. You might be just confused about a couple of things. Get with the person that invited you out to this presentation. Make sure you get the facts. Get clarity, because clarity is power. And then make an educated decision based on the facts, right? And based on your gut instinct. Because I go by my gut a lot as an entrepreneur, right? You already saw how we can help you go from point A to point B, right? We have all the ingredients, all the components there, okay? Or you can just be a customer, right? We release the app, you download the app, you go out shopping and get your 2 to 3% cash back. But here's what's going to happen. After you do that first purchase, I promise you're going to want to share it with somebody, whether it's a business owner or a friend of yours. So you might as well start earning from it, right? Start creating some leverage for yourself. Or you're number 3. You're a yes, like I am, right? When I see something that resonates with me, an opportunity that I know I can create another stream of freedom for myself and my family, I take massive, massive, massive action, right? I don't have to know everything, right? So get that out of your mind. Like, well, I don't understand everything right now. I got to do all this research. Well, guess what? Successful people make quick decisions and they change their mind slowly. You're going to earn and learn at the same time. You're going to jump and grow your wings on the way down. So this is what I want to say. Treat this just like you do with your job, right? When you go to your job, you don't sit down and say, listen, I don't want to earn a paycheck from here until I know everything about this company, right? You don't do that at your job. You earn and learn. So do the same thing here for yourself. So this is what we're going to do. Get with the person that invited you out. Get your questions answered. They'll get you on with someone else if they need to, myself, Carlos, or someone else. Then position yourself. They're going to walk you through the registration. It's going to take literally about a minute to do, right? But position yourself. Why? Because timing to business is like location to real estate. It can make all the difference, okay? Because we're doing these webinars 4 times a day, our particular team, right? Today it's going to be 3 times a day today, because we have a corporate webinar at 5 p.m. So here's what I want you to do. They're going to register you. They're going to get you positioned. They're going to add you to our private Facebook group. And they're going to show you how to invite people to the next webinar, which is in 2 hours at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Invite some of the people that you know. Say, hey, have you heard of smart money? Right? We got smartphones, smartwatches. We need to look at this new innovation. Right? Get them on this next webinar. Why? Because you can literally start building your organization as quickly as today. Right? We want to get you into profit as quickly as possible. So over the next 3 days, we want to work closely with you. We want to get that success story going, right? As quickly as possible, okay? So what I'm going to share with you guys, and my last bit of advice is this. Stop passing over opportunities, because that's my definition, my personal definition of poor. P-O-O-R, passed over opportunities regularly. At some point, you've got to plug in, because now that you've seen this information, 8 months from now, some of you are going to walk around, oh, this economy's bad, it's a down economy, always me, I got to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs. But that's not the truth. That's what you're creating. While others of you are going to be having freedom like you've never experienced before because you plugged in. Right? There's a million opportunities out there, not just only iThrive, there's tons of them, right? There's great opportunities everywhere. Plug into something, but you can no longer walk around blaming the government, blaming your spouse, your teachers, whatever. Because you know now that it's a new economy. You can leverage it, position it, and build something amazing. We are going to grow around the world very, very quickly. Very quickly, right? So the last time we built something, I built something way over hundreds of thousands of people in organizations before. I went to Japan. I had over 10,000 people join me in a week in Japan. Over 10,000 people in a week. So what do you think is going to happen when I go back over there now with this technology? Right? It's going to explode. Position yourself, because the way this system works, whoever gets signed in gets a position, and which means whoever goes first gets there, which means some of the people that are on this webinar could be in your organization. They could fall into your organization as spillover, and now you're leveraging them. So either they're going to leverage you or you're going to leverage them, possibly, right? So you need to plug in. Take a stand. We are giving you the Ferrari and the Rolls Royce of opportunities here, right? It's just a vehicle to take you from point A to point B, but you still got to sit in the car and turn the key, right? You've got to plug in. We will